On today's episode of Titus and Tate, the AP poll is out. Tate, the wait is over. We have numbers next to teams. We have rankings.
It's officially the preseason.
Oh, my God, dude. I say this every year. Everyone in my life calls me out for it, and it's the same song and dance. I don't care. At this point in the year on the calendar, I say it. The words come out of my mouth. They say, I have never been so excited for a college basketball season. And then everybody around me is like, you say that literally every year. And I say, God damn it, I mean it every year. Okay?
Yeah.
I mean it every year.
It gets better.
It gets better every year. Every year. I thought about it today, though. I looked at the AP poll, and I was going through like all the teams. And I made this point when we were going over the what was it, the way too early preseason, or the too early preseason, whatever phase we were in. But all these teams, you're going through one by one. If I'm a fan of all of the, like basically the top 20, because at 21 is Maryland, and we're in Purgatory at that point.
Purgatory, I like it.
But the top 20, I feel like if you're a fan of those teams, you either got to be excited about the direction of the program and be like, we're on the up and up. Like say like Arkansas, for example. If you're an Arkansas fan, you're like, dude, we are Alabama. You're like, maybe we're not winning the title this year, but my God, the momentum of this program is unbelievable. Or you're talking yourself into, we might be able to win the title this year. That's very rare. Usually every preseason, like there's a team that's ranked like 12th, and their fans are like, we suck. I don't know why we're 12th. You know what I mean? This year that would
be Memphis, according to the AP poll.
Yeah, there you go. Well, we had Verno on the show, and he's like, Amani, YouTube.com. So I feel like we're going to get a season where all these teams are excited, and for that reason, I'm excited. Because, especially because when you factor in the fact that Ohio State is winning the national championship. You heard it here first. So
yeah, well, it's all about believing. Just like that statement right there, a lot of programs are going to make declarations. That's why we love the AP Top 25, because they give us a list to start from so we can finally, figure out where we live. It's
a way to like kind of check in on your insanity as well, where like all off season you're talking yourself in. Like if you're say like an Illinois fan, you're like, I think we're still going to be good. I think we're going to be good. I think we're going to be good.
Number 11.
All right, we're good. We're going to be good.
On the precipice.
You know what I mean? Or if you're like an Indiana fan, you're like, Woodson is like, we're right there. We're right there.
We got some votes.
Shit, run ranked.
No, we got some votes. We look at the bottom, we say we got some votes. We're okay. Louisville, you got some votes.
Louisville got some votes. Louisville squeaked in with 3 votes. Notre Dame is back with 3 votes. Anyway, we're gonna just talk our initial reaction to the AP poll. Who's overrated? Who's underrated? I think I might.
Dare you say properly rated?
Dude, I might. I'm going to do a little tease here. I might, depending on if we have enough time, do a preseason fraud ranking.
I think you should.
Yeah. Like, just give you a sense
of
like
Chris
where I'm
Beard.
at.
Top 5? First year on the job?
You're ready to call him.
Is Texas a basketball school?
He hasn't coached a game, and you're ready to put him on the fraud power rankings?
Yeah.
AP poll is out. We are excited. It is officially preseason. Come join us. But first,
Woody Durham.
all right, a little administrative stuff before we dive into the AP poll here, Tate. We are officially in the preseason. We famously, like, if people talk about us as a duo, I think the first thing that comes to mind, hardest working duo in show business, obviously.
I've heard that.
I think the second thing you'll hear a lot from people is that we never ask anything of our listeners. Almost nothing.
No.
We're just like, you know what?
Because they're friends of the program.
They're friends of the program. Yeah.
And as friends, we don't ask for favors.
We don't need anything. So you understand we don't ask for favors. I'm going to make one exception. We are in the preseason. It is time to rev the engines back up. We understand that a lot of you maybe check in on the show once every 6 episodes. That's fine. We never, again, we don't ask.
6.
We don't ask much. We don't ask much. We understand. We understand in the off season. You're like, I want to go like hiking. I don't want to listen to Titus and Tate talk about recruiting. We understand. We get it. We are now in the preseason though, folks.
Yes.
It is time.
Rev
the
your
AP
engines.
poll is out. We need you to get back in the saddle. We need you to join us because this is going to be an insane season. So, what does that mean, Tate? Tell your friends. What does that mean? Like, rate us on how does the algorithm work? I don't know how the algorithm works.
Well, nobody knows how the algorithm works except for LeBron James and Space Jam 2, aka Al G. But from there, you can go to Apple Podcasts, right? That's one way you could do this. You could go in there, and they have 5 stars, and you can rate. If you believe that we are 5 stars, and if you're a friend of the program, we hope that you do. 5 stars, give it the rating, and then if you want to go a step further, if you want to get the algorithm to really love us and shoot us up to the top, because people forget this. Once upon a time, We had the #1 podcast on Apple Podcasts in sports.
We did, yeah. It was the algorithm.
It was the algorithm, though. It wasn't us. It was just the algorithm. So, again, thank you to the algorithm. Bless us again. And that's what we want to be blessed. And the only way we can be blessed is with you, the listener. Let's be blessed together. But that's one step, And then, like you said, talk to your friends.
Yeah, talk to your friends.
Tell your friends to listen to podcasts.
Try to go to Apple, and if you see someone that gives 1 star, just really less than 5 stars, 1, 2, 3, or 4, try to hack into their account and dox them, and put their address out onto the internet, and we can all show up at their door.
No friends of the program know how to do that. They're from North Carolina, and Ohio. We love them.
These are just some suggestions you can do, but we
Research Triangle. They might figure it out. Never mind. Do that.
I'm shot out of a cannon today, dude, because there's something that about the AP poll. It's all meaningless. It's stupid. That's I understand that. The rational part of my brain kicks in and says preseason, the AP poll in general in college basketball is meaningless.
Yes,
because for all the grief we give the selection committee and how we lose our minds every March about how they had this seeding wrong, that seeding wrong, whatever. The one thing I do appreciate about how the NCAA selection committee works is that they do not give a single shit about the AP poll at any given time. They don't care. They care about the RPIs and your Ken Palms and your what have you, and your net rankings and your what have yous and whatnots and whatchamacallits. They don't care about the AP poll, Tate. And so to that point, I would say that it's a meaningless exercise throughout the season. It exists solely to just argue, and if the rational part of my brain is this is stupid. It's especially stupid in the preseason when we haven't even seen these teams play. And yet there's something about simply seeing college basketball teams listed in an order and having numbers next to them.
Yes.
That gets the blood flowing.
Yes.
It gets the blood flowing. And I was walking around my apartment today just fist pumping, and I was like, this team's overrated, this team's underrated.
And if you're a basketball fan, this list, without even any basketball attached to it, somehow is better than the start of the NBA season. You know what I mean? The NBA doesn't put out any power rankings.
They should, dude. They should. They should have a poll.
Yeah, exactly.
I think that's how we save the NBA.
Exactly. We give them some college things, some college tricks to get people fired up and the blood boiling. The only way they could really do that is they did top 5 MVP projections, because then the players get involved. But when you talk about college basketball, this is what everyone goes to tomorrow and says, UCLA fans are celebrating. I got a bunch of texts today. #2. Because, the casual UCLA fan, the last time they thought about basketball was the Final Four.
Right.
And then, like you said, they've been hiking and going to the beach and all that in between, listening to Drake's new album. And then all of a sudden, you get a text, we're #2. All right, I'm back in. So that's the good news as well. A lot of programs having that today.
NBA, I think the NBA version of this is they just put out the gambling odds. You know what I mean? And the gambling odds, I appreciate this about college. The gambling odds, obviously March Madness is the #1 gambling event in sports.
Kansas plus 1,500 to win the title.
I got to be honest. Right now, I don't know who the favorites are in Vegas to win the college basketball title, and I appreciate that.
Kansas plus 1,500.
It is Kansas?
No, not the favorites.
That's your pick.
That's my pick. That's my best odds.
I do like that, though.
Kansas
because
is very undervalued. We'll get into it.
We'll get into it. I just want to make that point that, by having an AP poll, it means we don't have to use the Vegas odds as our jumping off point.
No.
Because, I don't know. I don't gamble. I understand people do, and I understand the appeal of it, and I do enjoy talking about spreads and odds, and I don't know. It's interesting to me. It's an interesting discussion. But the one part I hate about gambling is kind of what Ken Palm has done. I guess Ken Palm has done this college basketball where it's not enough to just say if Gonzaga's #1, that must mean they're the favorite, and then people can well actually, they'll be like, well actually, I see your sports book says that UCLA has the best odds, and you just get that out of my face. You know what I mean? And it's the same thing with Ken Palm, where I guess that's our version of that. Is people are they're rated this on Ken Palm, and that is stone cold proof that this means this.
For the record, Ken Palm has said, do not take his preseason rankings as fact.
I don't mean preseason. I mean
you mean when we're actually in
as we're going. And what I'm saying is NBA. If you were to argue about who should be ranked #1, people would just Google NBA odds.
Yeah,
and
wins above replacement.
Yes.
Get some B-ball reference.
I think that's the problem.
In there. Yeah.
And so that's one thing I do love about the AP poll is it leaves room to argue and discuss, and that's what we do best on this show. So let's argue and discuss.
Well, the AP too is so official. It's the Associated Press. It's not one person. It's not like you said, Vegas or whatever it is. It's this entity, and we know some of the voters like Graham Couch.
Graham Couch, dude,
who basically says that he will not rank Duke in the top 25 until they play a true road game. So we love voters like that.
Does he even put a preseason poll in? Or does he say none of these teams have played a true road game?
I mean, I hope that he decided that he was going to abstain.
That was one of the funniest. Was that the Zion team?
Yeah.
That he just straight up didn't rank him in the top 25 because
we were just clamoring because we saw them in the Champions Classic. He was like neutral site.
I think that's when I realized that I have a very obvious ceiling in sports media or like being a real journalist. Maybe not sports media. I can make it work because I can bullshit my way to the top in this. I think if I really have the gumption.
If you really believe.
If I really have the gumption, I think I have a ceiling in my journalism career though, like doing actual journalism because I'm very easily swayed. And we had Graham Couch on the show, and I was like ready to just clown him. This was like, what, 2 or 3 years ago?
Yeah, three I think.
3 seasons ago.
2018, 2019.
He didn't vote for Duke because they hadn't played a true road game. And I was ready to just laugh at his face. And then he's like laying it out, and I was like, makes a lot of sense, actually.
No, I mean, Duke hasn't played a true road game since the 90s. If you look it up, Jim, if you look that up.
Jim, Google that.
Find the last road game that Coach K is. The true road game.
Jim, if what you find does not align with what Tate just said, just don't say anything.
No, I mean, I think his Google will probably block this from being able to be found. This is part of the Coach K farewell tour.
Big thoughts as we look at the AP poll. Top 10 for those who didn't see. Gonzaga, number 1. UCLA number 2, Kansas number 3. By the way, Gonzaga, UCLA, the only teams that got first place votes.
Yes.
So Gonzaga got 55 of the votes. UCLA got 8 first place votes. Those are the only 2 teams that anybody thought were deserving of.
Again,
1.
Kansas.
Yeah.
Disrespected.
Kansas number 3, Nova number 4, Texas number 5, which your eyebrows are starting to raise over there. Michigan at 6, Purdue at 7, Baylor at 8, Duke at 9, Kentucky at 10. We could read the rest, but I think at this point
let's stop at the top 10. I think that it's a good jumping off point because I think there's a big bear in the room that we have to discuss, and it's a California bear, and it's because we brought West Coast basketball back. People forget that we were at the CBS Sports Classic in Chicago. We saw Steve Alford's second to last game, and we saw a UCLA.
That's true, we did.
We saw a UCLA program that was post Lonzo, no LaMelo on the way. Lost and astray. They had nothing. We were saying to ourselves, man, we should do a bit about how bad the Pac-12 is, like how downtrodden it is, because it's very sarcastic, at this point. So we had a bet, and the loser had to do a Pac-12 update. And since we started doing that, the top 2 last year, the number 1 preseason team, Gonzaga. So they go back-to-back number 1 AP preseason. And then number 2, we have UCLA. And, of course, we joke that Gonzaga and UCLA are both in the Pac-12. So this is all that to say, the big bear in the room. We brought West Coast basketball back to the forefront. We're very excited about that. And now it's not a joke. Now it's for real.
Dude, were the last 2 games that we saw Alford coach, was that to say, was the year Cronin came to – that was the year before. That Cincinnati came to UCLA.
Yes, Cincinnati came to UCLA, and we talked that game about how UCLA needed someone like a Mick Cronin mentality.
We did. We both turned to each other. We said, UCLA should hire Mick Cronin.
We were like, they should hire this man. No, I mean, but seriously, it was like a weird timeline where we saw UCLA post Lonzo, like I was saying, so down. And now they're fully back. I mean, and Drake will be around next year. Donda Academy will start sending kids there very soon. And Mick Cronin's at the center of the universe.
I'm glad you brought up UCLA because I think this is the big discussion point that needs to be had in the preseason poll is where we fall with UCLA. You are all in. You could not drink the Kool-Aid anymore.
Well, see, I drank the Kool-Aid last year. You remember this because Chris Smith was my preseason player of the year.
He was.
I was all in on UCLA.
I forgot about that.
I thought that Chris Smith and maybe a little bit of Johnny Juzang. And this year, I'm a little bit, I'm kind of more reserved than I was even last year because I like that they are getting the hype at number 2. But like we said, they turned it on late in the year.
Is UCLA your version of what Virginia was for me, where you're just going to go down with the ship no matter what it takes every single year until they get it done?
I just respect the UCLA program. You know what I mean? As a blue blood, there's some blue bloods that you have a kinship with. There's some that you have a rivalry with, like Carolina, Kentucky. We'll never get along. Pat Riley versus Michael Jordan. We're never going to be on the same page. But there's a respect and a reverence, but we're not going to really talk to them. John Wooden, Dean Smith, similar principles, you know what I mean? So that's why I like UCLA.
Okay, so as it pertains to this UCLA team, they're ranked number 2. It is they are like the I don't know, maybe the most polarizing team, you might say, because there are some people. They're polarizing for me, dude. You catch me at
Andy Katz loves this team. And Andy Katz, like we talk, capital journalist.
It depends on who I'm talking to, how I feel about him. And I need to make a decision soon. I don't know how much time. I need to put myself on a deadline. let's see here. When's the first game? When's the first game? The 12th? That's when opening night is.
I think so.
Of college basketball. So it is. We're recording this on the 18th. I have 1, 2, 3 weeks. I'm gonna say by the 1st, by November. We're gonna record a show in 2 weeks. By then, I will have figured out where I stand on UCLA because I flip back and forth on whether this team is good. This team went to the Final Four, brings everyone back. Peyton Watson has joined the fold. They got Miles Johnson. They got significant transfers, significant recruits.
Yes.
They go to the Final Four. Johnny Juzang is back.
Back.
Lots to love about this team, Tate. But
Tiger Campbell.
Is bringing the whole team back a good thing because this is a team that going into the NCAA tournament lost 4 games in a row. Mm-hmm. Then they have the play-in game. They go into overtime. They need a miracle to beat Michigan State in the play-in game.
Yeah.
They need a miracle to beat who else did they beat along the way? They beat Alabama?
Yeah.
They need the miracle to beat Bama.
Yes.
They barely beat Michigan. They every game they played was close. They basically were like just playing roulette where they hit
almost
red
worked against
every single
Gonzaga.
time.
They almost went to the title game, you know?
Yeah. And they almost did it to Gonzaga. Yeah, so my question is obviously you're saying forget all that. Let's just look at
forget all. I'm not saying forget all that. I'm saying
the question is
like
now which team is it? Which team
they
is
know
it?
it's possible, you know what I mean?
Okay.
I think that they now see the light, and I think that they believe in what Mick Cronin is preaching, and they know when it comes to a tournament game, they have the point guard, they have the right pieces. I think Peyton Watson is going to have to be – I think he's going to have to step up and be a big piece in this team if they're really going to go to a Final Four. I really do believe that. Johnny Juzang, a lot of eyeballs are going to be on Johnny. We joked about the fact that he didn't get much separation, you know, in a lot of those shots that he was making. There was a lot of Jimmer Fredette to what he had going on, so that's not always something that's clicking. It's going to be fun to see how they manage the regular season, you know, because I think they are all eyes on March, but there's a lot of basketball, played before that, and they're going to have to deal with the hype, and they're going to have to deal with the expectations, and they're in L.A. I mean, L.A. makes everything different, you know?
This is my
especially
fear.
When people are tuned in.
This is my fear with UCLA is that they are way too cool.
Yes.
But
Mick Cronin won't let them be too cool. That's the difference. That's what keeps me coming back because any other coach, we love Coach Lavin, but if this is Coach Lavin, he
lets him be cool.
He lets him be cool, you know what I mean? And he's wearing Jordan brand jumpsuits with them, you know what I mean? Or if Musselman was there, he's going to let them be cool. Mac Brown, that's my problem with Carolina football. We're too cool for school right now, you know? We kill everything before the game, and then we go offline after the game. We don't want that to be UCLA.
What the hell happened to Carolina football?
Man, we're back though. 4-3, beat Miami this weekend.
Did I see this correctly? That you prematurely ended the podcast?
No, I mean we just wrapped it up. Season finale. I was just season finale. We had Hall of Famer Harris Barton. Played with Bill Walsh.
If you don't know what I'm talking about, Tate started a podcast.
Yeah.
With who was it? With Charlie, right?
Charlie Hume.
Yeah, Charlie Hume.
We survived. Charlie was in college during Butch Davis. I was in high school. We had Robert Quinn, Marvin Austin. I mean, we had freaks. Quentin Copels, first round picks.
What was Carolina preseason this year? 11.
Number 10.
10.
Yeah.
Preseason number 10.
This
football.
is Mac Brown. This is UCLA. Yeah. I don't want it to be UCLA. I don't want the hype to lead to being too cool for school and things go sour. You know what I mean?
This man sitting across from me. Carolina's ranked number 10. Your legendary basketball coach just retired abruptly.
Yes.
So you're like, I got the idea. We're going to start a podcast called Football School.
Because we're going to be amazing.
Because we're going to be awesome at football. We're going to win the ACC.
I knew Clemson was going to die.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And Clemson has died. I knew that the king was going down, and I thought that North Carolina was going to be the Kingslayer. And to add insult to injury, Titus, you know who was the Kingslayer? NC State, of all places.
I haven't paid it. Who have you guys lost to? NC State?
No, NC State beat Clemson
and
dethroned them. Yeah, that was supposed to be us.
You guys lost to Georgia Tech.
Virginia Tech was the opening game.
Virginia
Tech, Georgia Tech, and Florida State.
Did you beat Miami this Saturday?
Yeah, we just beat Miami.
Oh, you're back.
Notre Dame this week. If you're 5-3 and you beat Notre Dame in Miami,
you're back. Resurrect the podcast.
No, I mean, look, season finale.
Anyway, back to college basketball here. So you're buying into UCLA.
Yes.
Okay.
But I'm just saying, don't believe the hype.
I will say this. I don't know what I was going to say. I just felt like starting. I think that when I feel good about UCLA, I do think they should be number one. Because The weird thing to me about Gonzaga.
Next year, UCLA could be number 1. Let's say they go to the Final Four this year. It doesn't work out. They go back-to-back, but Peyton Watson comes back. They bring in, Drake's stepson, and hey, now they're Chet Holmgren, and now they're Gonzaga, and now they're number 1.
This is what I was going to say about Gonzaga is that it's weird to me. Not that Gonzaga's number 1. It makes sense, I guess, but it's like it's so obvious to people that Gonzaga was always going to be number 1. The fact that it's like not even close. They got 55 first-place votes. It's almost unanimous number 1.
Yeah.
That is a little surprising to me, given that.
And they play each other November 23rd.
They do.
Yeah.
We're going to be in Vegas for that game.
Yes.
Not at that game.
Not at the game. But maybe. Who's to say?
So what's surprising to me is that I think Gonzaga, just looking at the roster on paper, and again, I might be undervaluing Chet Holmgren, but I think there's no world in which Gonzaga is better than they were last year, is there? Or is it that I just fell in love with Gonzaga last year so much that I'm not seeing clearly? But I like losing Suggs and AI and Kispert. I don't think I don't know. But then the other part, Tate, is college basketball. You don't have to be better than you were last year. Like Gonzaga might be the best team in the country. It's just the Gonzaga and Baylor of last year would also kick everyone's ass this year.
Yeah, no, there's some people that argue that 2016 Carolina was better than 2017, the team that won the title. You know what I mean?
Maybe it's that going on.
Maybe it is that. But I still have to see Chet Holmgren at the 4 and Drew Timme at the 5 and just see what that looks like. I mean, it's going to be very interesting. Apparently, Chet plays. It's basically 4 round 1. That's what they're going to be playing with Chet. Chet shoots a lot of threes. I want to see what Gonzaga looks like.
I just want to see Chet.
He's the face of this team because really, Drew Timme's like Christian Laettner, right? I mean, should be the face of Gonzaga, but somehow because they get the top recruit, they have Chet Holmgren, kind of plastered everywhere.
I'm gonna do everyone's favorite podcast bit where you read the schedule to everybody. This is Gonzaga's
Jim's favorite bit.
Yeah, this is Gonzaga's non-conference schedule. November 13th against Texas, where Mark Few magically will be back because his suspension just so happens to align with the big game against the top 5 showdown.
It is Texas. Cool that the AP was just like, that does not affect our voting. 55 votes.
Yeah. Texas in November, UCLA November 23rd, Duke November 26th, Tate, Alabama December 4th. Also have games against Texas Tech and Washington.
My only thing with Gonzaga,
Washington's not good,
and I know people we've gotten over it. We know Gonzaga is good enough to win the whole thing.
Yeah,
I wish that they could schedule like UCLA in February.
Yeah, I wish so too.
That's what they really. But
that's what I was saying last show. If they go independent, they can do that. They can just I don't know, and you can convince like all these other schools to play them because it'd be a big I don't know, like a big
it's a TV
bracket buster, big TV event, whatever.
Yeah. CBS should like get the rights to them like NBC did with Notre Dame football, and then it's a CBS like kind of primer for March.
No, Fox should do it.
I mean, well, you know what I mean. Fox should do it. That's right. Yeah. I'm saying for March Madness, you know what I mean? But you're right. Yeah, Fox should do it. That's right. Good call. Fox
did. All right, so those are the top 2. I think it doesn't surprise me that they were the 2 teams that got the first place votes. Yeah. I guess it surprises me how lopsided it was because, again, I think UCLA, however good or bad UCLA will be this year, I think my impression is certainly that they will be better than they were last year. This team has gotten better in the offseason.
UCLA, in my mind, should be number 4, number 5.
Really?
Know what I mean? Yeah. I mean, in reality.
What?
Because I think Kansas,
is that where you're voting them, or you're saying you expected them?
I think that's where I thought they would be. I'm shocked that they actually got first place votes and that they're number 2. And now I'm a little bit reticent to. I'm just like, calm down, everybody. Like,
I can't keep track of your hedging here. So what?
No, I mean I believe
you have. I'm putting you on a deadline. You have till November 1st to lock in where you stand on UCLA
Kansas.
too.
Okay. I love Kansas. I think.
Give me your AP vote. Go. Who's number 1?
Number 1 is got to be Gonzaga. Unfortunately. You hate to see it, but Gonzaga has to be number 1. But I think Kansas is number 2. I think Nova's number 3. I think UCLA is number 4, and I think Michigan's number 5. I can't believe Texas is number 5. I mean, that Texas is more of a 8, 9, 10.
Should we talk about Texas?
Yeah, let's talk about Texas because Chris Beard, first year on the job. Shaka Smart last year. You and I got tricked. We went to the Camping World Invitational. They win the race to 69.
Right.
Matt Coleman hits a game-winning shot against North Carolina.
We saw him at the football game this weekend, by the way.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he was walking. He was wearing a Yankees hat that was too small for his head, and he just sat it on top of his head. I don't know what that means. I'm just reporting the facts.
Okay.
Matt Coleman was at the Oklahoma State Texas.
Did you see any other basketball players?
No, I think that was all. Did we see anybody else?
We saw a recruit. a recruit. Remember? He was being showed around, and they were talking about retiring different numbers.
Jim loves, every time we go to these schools and we're on the field, Jim loves seeing the basketball recruits, and he tries to figure out who they are.
I want to see how much money they're being offered. I mean, isn't that the most interesting part?
Yeah, of course. That's why people listen to us. We'll talk about numbers. And then brass tacks here.
And then he asked me who the guys are. And I'm like, Jim, I don't. Why would I know who these 15-year-old kids are?
But seriously though, I mean, are you not shocked that Chris Beard got a top 5 ranking in his first year?
No,
at
I'm
Texas?
not. Dude, Chris Beard's a media darling. Chris Beard is.
I guess you're right. I mean, he has. You're right. He does have the.
It's the combination of Chris Beard and Marcus Carr.
He has the fireside chats, and a lot of people, they love history. They love the fact that he sits by a fire and has these, real conversations. We appreciate that.
I think what I learned with this AP poll, with Virginia clocking in at 25, by the way, which I don't think Virginia's going to be very good. So I'm not saying Virginia should be higher.
I never doubt Virginia. That is the rule of Virginia.
Well, this is my point, is that I think Chris Beard is supplanting Tony Bennett right now at this moment in time, at this juncture, as the coach who gets the benefit of the doubt no matter what. That, Texas is a team full of transfers. Their whole team is new, basically, it feels like. That's not true, but it feels that way. They lost a ton of guys. They lose their head coach. It's a new head coach. It's a bunch of transfers. And some of them are proven entity. Like Marcus Carr is good enough to be a first-team All-American. He was preseason Big 12 Player of the Year. But all that, there's a lot of unknowns swirling there.
Yeah.
But I think Chris Beard is in a position where we just look at it and we're like, Chris Beard will figure it out. And you throw your hands up and you're like, Chris Beard is going to figure this out. He's an awesome coach. And we used to think that about Tony Bennett, which is why every preseason poll, Virginia would be picked to win the ACC.
Yeah.
Virginia would be even if their team sucked on paper, you'd be like, I got Virginia at 12 in my AP poll. It looks like that era might be over for Tony Bennett. They're 25th, dude. They're not going to be very good, I don't think.
I think they're going to be better than people think. But they also, they lost a lot of talent. Obviously, had a first-round pick leave early that they thought they were going to be able to hide. And now he's in New Orleans, as we all know. But Michigan, to me, Juwan Howard is the coach that I think got jumped by Chris Beard, because Juwan Howard is the one who should have gotten that top 5 spot. You have Hunter Dickinson coming back. And look, I'm not, here to fight battles for Michigan fans. They're already out there doing this for themselves, but they should have probably got that top 5 spot. I think Texas is somewhere in between. Baylor, I think they should, have gotten some consideration maybe to be a top 5 team coming off the title. You give Scott Drew that kind of, tip of the cap. Duke and Kentucky on the back end of this, I think they're fascinating, because Kentucky, we saw last year, was abysmal. They were embarrassing. Duke was terrible last year. And now, because they get these, I guess in the case of Paolo Banchero, he's good enough to make them a top 10 team and the best team in the ACC.
Did you see Paolo Banchero?
He's number 1 on Vicini's big board, by the way.
He's number 1 on my big board.
Oh, my God.
Dude, Paolo. I'm telling you. I was in Norman, Oklahoma, just late on this was a few weeks ago, and I was just sitting there watching highlights, and then
you've been hanging around Jim too long. Jim's a secret Duke
fan. Did you see
fan.
Paolo in the what does Duke call it? The blue-white game? The
whatever.
Is that what North Carolina calls it too?
No, we call it late night with Hubert, late night with Roy.
What do you call your scrimmage though?
Blue-white game. No, Duke had no tradition. They just copied everybody else.
The point is,
can you imagine building a campus and just basing it off Princeton and having no originality or creativity?
Did you see Paolo Banchero? Jim, look this up. Paolo Banchero dunked from basically the free throw line. Now it was kind of
basically. Now you're talking LeBron right now. Now you're giving me LeBron Nike PR. He basically dunked
the
from the
ACC logo. He had his foot on the ACC logo right by the free throw line. It was in the neighborhood of the free throw line.
Oh my goodness!
And just yammed on dudes.
Friday night, I told you this off air. Friday night, if you were at home, that was the night of the Blue Bloods. Kentucky had their late night. North Carolina had their late night. Coach K had his final, farewell. To all the Cameron crazies. It was a special night for the Blue Bloods, but you could stagger it out and watch them and check them out. Mm-hmm. And I told you this, and this is an unbiased, objective opinion. I do think Hubert Davis won the night. I think he won the night of those 3, of Cal, of K. Hubert won.
But what does he have to show for it? What do you mean he won? How did he win?
He moved the people and convinced the nation that we have the right one. You know what I mean? It's true.
I love the preseason, man. We're so optimistic. By the way, I just looked this up. Sorry.
Number 19 is disrespectful. That's just first and foremost.
I as a quick sidebar, I didn't realize, I had no idea Courtney Ramey was back for Texas.
Yeah.
How did I not know this?
No, I mean, look.
I thought him and I think I knew Andrew Jones was coming back.
Yeah.
Because like,
I mean, when you see their 10, like I saw the other day, there was a scrimmage where it was 5-on-5 at Texas. They have 2 starting 5s. Like he could platoon it out if he really wanted to.
I knew about like all the.
This is why Mac McClung couldn't go to Texas. You know what I mean?
Yeah, dude. I didn't know Courtney Ramey and like they're gonna be they're nasty, dude.
But are they? Because we know they have the talent, and last year we said that, or I said that I thought they might be the number 1 team in the country in December.
I knew about Marcus Carr.
Mm-hmm.
Who else did they got? Benson, the white dude with the long hair from Texas Tech. He transferred with beard. I didn't realize that. Wow.
They're an interesting
How did I not know
team.
Ramey was back? I assumed like Ramey and Coleman were just attached at the hip and whatever. I knew Coleman was gone, so I was like, yeah, Ramey went with him. You can't have Courtney Ramey without Matt Coleman, can you? I guess you can. We're gonna have it this year.
Matt Coleman's in the NBA, right? I think he's on the Kings or something.
Yeah, he signed with somebody.
He signed with somebody. Okay.
You want to talk about the ACC in general because we're tiptoeing around it. You're bringing up. We talked about Virginia. You said North Carolina at 19 is disrespectful. I want to give a shout out to one Kenneth Pomeroy, who puts out his preseason rankings. As you said, Kim Pom says his preseason doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
But yet, if it doesn't matter, why do you put it out, Ken?
He didn't just say. He said disregard it. He said it. He said don't even read it. Don't even bring it up.
Then why put it out? That's all I would say.
No, because you got to start from somewhere.
It's curious that you put it out, but you say it doesn't matter. If it doesn't matter, then it doesn't matter. Don't put it out. But you put it out, Tate. So there you go. We have it right in front of me. I'm looking at
Someone
it.
find that quote where he said
And let's see, kenpom.com. Let me scroll down.
Yeah, this is disrespectful for real.
Hang on. And there it is. At number 40, the North Carolina Tar Heels. In general,
it is Rodney Dangerfield at this point.
Okay.
And I feel like Rodney Dangerfield because I get no respect. And I'm speaking as North Carolina basketball because at this point, what is happening? You know, Duke got a top 10 ranking.
Duke, that's egregious.
With Joey Baker.
I will say, Duke.
Yeah.
I'm drinking the Paolo Kool-Aid. I don't know if I'm drinking the Duke top 10 Kool-Aid yet.
My goodness.
That's just that's Coach K mysticism. That's like an understanding that
they think that they could hide him away at 9 too. You know, because you kind of overlook 9 trying to get to 10.
No, I'm gonna explain that. Excuse me. As the season goes on, I think the voters realize that Duke is going to get every favorable call.
Yes.
That Coach K is going to just be in the ears of these refs.
Yeah, we call that Duke basketball.
I know, but it's going to be heightened this year. It's going to be heightened.
Is the ceiling the roof or not? I mean, because how much higher can it go?
It's going to be heightened. I'm just telling you. It's going to be heightened. Okay, so back to Carolina, back to the ACC as a whole, because I got to be honest. I said this when we did the podcast with Andy. When we went on his show. Is that out yet? He still hasn't put it out.
I still don't think he's put it out.
I cannot remember a time in my life, as excited as I am for college basketball as a whole, I cannot remember a time in my life when I felt like the ACC was as irrelevant as that. And I'm not even doing that as shtick. I think like as a whole, there are not a lot of ACC teams that are moving the needle for me.
Florida State's disrespected at 20.
Okay.
North Carolina is a top 15 team. I mean, I've never in my life had a top 5 point guard that was a 5-star recruit and another 5-star center that is going into his junior year. Like last year, North Carolina had Garrison Brooks, who if you ever watched North Carolina with Garrison Brooks play, you would never in your life say that's a really good basketball player. That's a guy I want to lead my team. So the fact that the media voted that man ACC preseason player of the year because of North Carolina's blue blood status, and then this year when you have Armando Bacot, who is much better than Garrison Brooks, much better than Garrison Brooks, and is a 5-star recruit who was going to test the waters and go to the NBA, but got convinced to come back because of Hubert Davis. You got a senior in Leaky Black. You got Kerwin Walton, who is the shooting guard version of Kawhi Leonard. You got, Brady Manick. Are you kidding me? You get Brady Manick. You get Dawson Garcia, another 5-star recruit.
Marquette, right?
It comes from Marquette. You know what I mean? So a guy who beat you on the Dean Dome was Wojo. So anyways, I look at North Carolina. I think they have a lot of depth. I think Hubert Davis is getting, a bit disrespected based on what he should be getting as a guy who, is Walter Davis's nephew, who played for the New York Knicks, who is close to Pat Riley and Michael Jordan. Those were his 2 letters of recommendation to get the job. So, I don't know. I'm a little upset about that. Leonard Hamilton should be a top 15 team. Look at Florida State. A lot of talent on their roster. Virginia's getting a top 25 because they're Virginia, and I think that's their due. Maryland should be in the ACC, so that should be another ACC team that's in there. We want them. I want them.
You're gonna have them. Give us Notre Dame. We know the deal. Or
you don't
Louisville.
get Mike Bray.
Notre Dame or Louisville, and you can get Maryland.
No, you can have Louisville.
Give us.
Louisville for Maryland is a trade for everybody. I think that's a win for everybody.
I'll take Louisville.
You hear that, Mike Rutherford?
We'll do that. We'll do that deal. I'll do that deal.
I'll do that deal today.
Let's sign the papers. Let's get it done.
Call Jim Phillips.
Let's get it done. Louisville for Maryland, straight up.
It's a good deal for everybody. Yeah. I want Maryland back. Because you know what sucks about Duke right now? It's like Duke owns Virginia. So Virginia does no favors. Duke will get their quality wins over them. North Carolina, Caleb Love owns Duke.
Virginia owns Carolina.
Virginia owns us.
Yeah.
Yeah. NC State, we don't know. We haven't heard from them. But it's just
answer
this
the question.
cycle.
Answer the question. Is the ACC dead? When you pair this, excuse me, really flimmy today. When you pair this with ACC football being absolutely dead as a doornail.
No,
ACC
dead.
Football is
not dead.
Whew, it is. It could not be more dead. And you have to go all in on basketball as a conference, and you have one team in the top 18, which is a famous cutoff.
Top 18.
The top 18 is a very round number.
That's a Big Ten stat of the day.
You have one team in the top 18 in the preseason AP poll for a basketball conference, and your football's dead. Like, is the ACC dead? Does the Big Ten have to do CPR on the ACC?
We don't want your help.
The Alliance? The Alliance is your only hope now.
We're with the Pac-12. We are coastal. We are coastal elite conference.
Can I do something quickly on the Big Ten in general?
Please.
Which is that when you look at the Big Ten tape, there are four teams that stand out. They are the Michigan Wolverines. They are the Purdue Boilermakers, which I think Purdue.
No teams in the top 5.
No teams in the top 5.
Yeah,
that's perfect. That's where we don't want to be in the top 5. No teams. There'll probably be no teams.
Michigan should have been in the top 5.
There'll be no teams in the Final Four either, probably.
Yeah,
or maybe one.
There's one. There will be one. Illinois.
So Michigan, Purdue, Illinois, Ohio State. Not only are these four teams, I do believe they're good. As an Ohio State fan, I'm very optimistic for this season. Like in all honesty, I'm not going to pretend like we're going to win the title. I know I said that at the top. I got a little carried away, but I do think by the end of the season, Ohio State will be talented enough to win a title. That's not to say we're going to. That's not to say we should be a favorite. But like ultimately, the NCAA tournament is like you're going down a whitewater rapid, Tate, and you just want to like build a boat that you think can get you to the end of the river, and it's just absolute chaos, and you just want to make sure you feel comfortable stepping into your little raft. Does that make sense? Are you following this analogy?
Yeah, I'm in the raft.
And I think that the raft that Ohio State will have built by the end of the year will be good enough to get us to the end of the river, but you never know if there's like a Max Asmus rock out there that's just gonna everything up. So
he's back, by the way.
or like what happened to us last year is you never know if COVID's gonna hit us again. You don't know. We just don't know.
Yes.
But those four teams are going to be very good. There are other good teams in the conference. Obviously, I think Maryland will have a decent team. Indiana's going to be good. Michigan State will be good. But the four at the top are especially interesting to me, Tate, because the hatred that exists with these four teams.
They do hate each other.
They all hate each other.
Yes, they all think that they are the one team.
Yes. And I wanted to point that out. Is like when the AP poll came out and I looked at all the Big Ten, the Big Ten landscape. I thought this is old Big Ten. The Michigan and Illinois fans just despise each other. They did all of last year. The players hate each other from last year. I think Michigan-Purdue rivalry is going to be kicked up this year because that's kind of the big debate if you're having a preseason debate about the Big Ten is which one's better. I think Illinois fans, sorry to say it, Illinois fans, you're not the best team in the Big Ten in the preseason. You're just not.
Not in the preseason.
You're not in the preseason.
But I think in reality.
You might end up being it. But if we're picking a favorite, it's got to be Michigan or Purdue. That's the big debate. And I think what's going to happen in the next couple of weeks is Michigan and Purdue fans are going to grow to hate each other because they're just going to be arguing about who should be the favorite to win the Big Ten. Everybody hates Ohio State and everything, just in general. Everybody hates Illinois because they have the most vocal fans. I saw the CBB on Fox account was doing like the offseason polls of like who should be the favorite to win the Big Ten. Illinois wins every single one of those polls every time because their fans are nuts and they're just very vocal and loud, and everybody hates them for that reason because they've never won it. Purdue and Illinois have never won a national title. They talk like they do. They talk like they have awesome programs. You see where I'm going with this? Like the hatred. There's just a lot of the conference as a whole. I understand if you're not a Big Ten person, you're rolling your eyes. You're saying we haven't won a title since 2000. All that's fair. I get that. But the one thing that has me excited about Big Ten basketball this year is there's a real hatred amongst these players. You start sprinkling in some of the coaches, Turgeon and Juwan Howard, Turgeon and Chris Holtman, Turgeon and literally every other Turgeon and his own fans. There's a lot of hatred going around the Big Ten. I'm excited about that. So that's
it does feel like Maryland is the team that, is the odd man out when we talk about, like you said, there's like a top 4. I am, famously the one who believed that Illinois was going to win Big Ten country last year. They were going to go and win the title, and they were going to be, a nonstop terror, but they were nothing like that. So as much as I love Illinois, as much as I love Curbelo and I love Trent Frazier and I love Kofi Coburn, I am going to do them the favor of ignoring them. I am not going to really talk about them very much. I hope that they go and win a national championship. That would be a great story. But I'm just going to leave them over here, and I'm not going to get them in trouble. That's why I think Michigan is a top 5 team. I think that Michigan is my pick.
You think Michigan's better than Purdue?
I think Michigan is the best team preseason in the Big Ten. I think they should have been a top 5 team. That's all I got to say to the AP poll. I mean, Hunter Dickinson is a National Player of the Year candidate. He's a Big Ten Player of the Year candidate, obviously.
Hunter Dickinson sucks.
I mean, look, we can talk about. I mean, I've seen him shoot some jump shots where I could agree with that. But as far as being able to set the tone, physically in a game, and look, bigs change games. This is DeAndre Ayton. Have you seen this, by the way? No, this is a side tangent, but DeAndre Ayton,
asking for a max contract.
As he should.
Yeah.
He just took this team to the finals.
Yeah.
I mean, thank you, Chris Paul, for taking all the credit, but my man DeAndre Ayton was the one making it possible because bigs, they run the game. If you know, you know. And then you're going to pay Mikal Bridges a wing? This is the problem. This is how everything is shifted. And I'm watching. The only thing I would say about North Carolina, my only concern is I'm watching the blue-white game. And Hubert Davis.
You're watching Duke in the blue-white game?
Who would ever? That's Coach K's show. I'm watching North Carolina. They shot about 100 threes, Titus, and we didn't post up once. We didn't play. Not to say you got to post up, but we didn't play inside out at all. It was just moving around the perimeter, jack a 3. That worries me because we win games with defense and rebounding. It's not sexy. You're not going to enjoy it. But that's what Hunter Dickinson does. I mean, that's what he can do for Michigan. He can get them to the promised land by being that guy. And they have him for 4 years, I would assume, right? I mean, he's going to be there for 4 years.
Yeah, because he sucks. I don't know why I'm saying. I'm just dipping my toe. I'm trying. Yeah. I'm trying some new. I'm seeing how it feels to say that. I mean, I'm dipping my toes.
You're mentioned, but I mean, look. But at the end of the day, Michigan is your Duke. So you should.
I know.
You deserve.
I'm dipping my toes in the Hunter Dickinson sucks waters just to see how. I just want to say those words on air and see how it felt.
Yeah.
But also, I think that's what he wants. He wants like Ohio State fans to think he's, you know what I mean, to hate him, and I don't want to play into that. And I mean, I don't know. I saw the same video you did. Him trying to shoot jump shots.
Yeah.
And,
I've seen a lot of those, unfortunately.
We get it, dude. You're big and you set screens and you roll to the basket. And because you're surrounded by shooters, no one ever helps off of the shooters. So you get wide open. Yeah. It's Hunter Dickinson or Brian Zubek.
That's a good question. I mean, Zubek, if we're being honest, Zubek won the 2010 title. I mean, those moving screens, changed the game. Can you imagine someone that can just slide their feet and shoot the entire way to a title? My God.
I said I do feel this way about Michigan. I said it I said it earlier in the offseason that my thoughts on Juwan Howard are going to be locked in at the end of this season. This is a big season for Juwan Howard. If he's trying to win me over, if Michigan wins the Big Ten again, goes another Final Four, I'm terrified of what Juwan Howard is doing to the Big Ten. Right. Mm-hmm. If Michigan underperforms, he's overrated, and everyone in the media is a coward for enabling this. That's going to be my take. So it's one or the other. I don't know what it's going to be. But we're gonna see where I end up.
I think Michigan's going to have a good year. I think Michigan might win the Big Ten.
They're going to be good. Yeah.
I'm not going to say that they're going to be the team the last team in the tournament. I sincerely think it's going to be retracted, but I won't talk about that team anymore. I think they'll be the last team for the Big Ten. Retracted. I can't say their name because I'm not going to curse them again, but I think they will be the last team from the Big Ten in the tournament. I don't know how far they'll be.
Oh, you mean to still be playing?
Yes.
I thought you meant like the last 4
left.
in.
No. Last team left for the Big Ten.
I think Michigan's going to be the most fun team, I think, in terms of like the national relic, because I mean, obviously, a lot of that's Juwan Howard is like just a more fun coach than Matt Painter.
Yeah,
you know, like in terms of interviews and
I love
and
Matt Painter
personality and all that.
Yeah.
But I think Michigan will be more fun. Purdue will be.
Purdue's the underdog by design.
Yeah,
they want to be.
Purdue might be the better team though.
I would love if Purdue won the Big Ten.
I think Michigan might, like, in just the Big Ten, just looking at it from a Big Ten perspective, Michigan to me is going to be Gonzaga from last year, and Purdue is going to be Baylor. Where Purdue's, like, actually better, but they're a little more boring in how they go about it. And Michigan's flashier, and Caleb Houston is just, like, I don't know, awesome. I don't know. I don't know where I'm going with this. Let's move on.
I mean,
I'm talking about two programs that I want to see. I want to see their programs fold, if I'm being completely honest. It's a tough spot for me.
It's hard.
It's tough for me to wake up on preseason day and see Purdue and Michigan at the top of an AP
what does
poll.
Coach Titus think about this?
He's not doing well.
I mean, I do think Indiana, like, if we're looking at the bottom of the AP rankings, which is basically, a prestige play, and it's based on potential, really. You're just like, just because of this, like UConn at 24. I like that. That's a prestige play. You put UConn there. Virginia gets 25. I feel like Indiana could have been 25
at 27. Yeah, Indiana should have been 25.
That's what I think too.
I think so too.
I think for Mike Woodson, I was talking about Hubert Davis not getting the respect, Mike Woodson is not getting the respect that he deserves as a coach that just came into college basketball.
Get St. Bonaventure out of there. I don't even care how good they end up being. Get the
first time they're in the preseason rankings since 1971.
Listen,
shout out to the Bonnies.
I get it.
Shout out to the Bonnies. If we're gonna take anyone out of this top 25, we're taking Auburn out.
Take Auburn out.
Get Auburn out of here. Get Bruce Pearl out of here.
Dude, Bruce Pearl taking his shirt off at football games. I don't need that in my life.
Football school.
You did it once.
You're a football school.
He keeps going back to the same well. He takes his shirt off. We get it. You take your shirt off.
Yes.
Mike Bray's been doing it forever, dude.
And better.
And better.
More genuine.
Let's try hard. Yeah. Get out.
Doesn't like you went to the tanning bed 15 times before you did this. Even though Mike Bray definitely goes to the tanning bed.
Bonnie's fans, close your ears, because as you said, it's been since 1971. But get St. Bonnie. Like, we as a media, like part of the AP poll, you're supposed to like hype people up and get. Yeah. Michigan State and Indiana got to sneak in there. You got to get them. You got to sneak them in there so we can have the prestige play.
Yeah.
That's more sexy than throwing St. Bonaventure in there. Get out of here.
I mean, or even just put Notre Dame in there or Syracuse. That was the other one. Buddy Boeheim and Syracuse at 25 could have been a really big, a big play.
Belmont receiving votes too. Don't sleep on that.
Shout out to Coach Titus.
Yeah. So, but if you're asking me how Coach Titus feels, he's deflecting and he's saying Belmont and the Hoosiers both got votes. Let's talk about that. Is what he's saying. What else? Are there any other thoughts? Any other big picture thoughts?
I have a Kim Pom stat that I wrote this down. Someone tweeted this, so I gotta shout out to them. I'm sure they'll figure it out. But the previous 6 national champs began the season in the Kim Pom top 5. And this year's top 5. So you hear since 2015. The 6 national champions that we've had, they've started as much as Kim Pom's preseason top 5 does not matter. It looks like based on this, it may matter a little bit. The 2022 preseason top 5 from Kim Pom. These are your national championship picks based on the past 6 years. Gonzaga, Michigan, Kansas, Baylor, Illinois.
Michigan's gonna be good, dude.
Gonzaga, Michigan, Kansas, Baylor, Illinois. I love Kansas.
Hold on.
I love Retracted.
Hold on, I need a second. I need a second to make the case that Michigan's not going to be good. I got it.
They are right now one of the 5 teams that are up to win the title.
I know, but dude, I don't
based
want to.
Based on Kim Pom, but you loved earlier when you were talking about number 40. You were really about it.
All right, hang on. So. First of all, Hunter Dickinson sucks. We know that. So they're starting Brian Zubek, left-handed Brian Zubek at center. That's your starting center.
Honestly, if you told me Brian Zubek was left-handed, I would have believed it because I don't think he ever shot. He just set moving screens.
Caleb Houston is Canadian, so he's kind of like Andrew Wiggins 2.0, which means he's gonna probably
not want to win.
Yeah. You have Eli Brooks as like your senior leader, your grad senior leader. That Eli Brooks. Yeah, get him out of my face.
If they had Jeff Jackson Simpson back,
Eli Brooks is like Walter Hodge was on those Florida teams, where like he's like the 9th best player on the team, but he hits like 3 big shots, and then he just starts talking that junk like no. We have Jace Howard. We have Juwan Howard's son on the team, which tells me, I don't know, what does that tell me, Tate? Come connect that thought for me. Dude, they're gonna be good.
They're gonna be good. They're gonna be good. Don't stress about it. But they're gonna be good.
But Phil Martelli's bald ass, just looking at me right there. That headshot of Phil Martelli. Here's what it is. You got too many bald coaches. Chris Hunter, Washington, Martell. That's a problem. You can only have like 1 or 2 bald coaches. You got too many. I don't know. Michigan's going to be good. Let's move on.
Michigan State is also going to be good. Or I think they're going to be better than most people suspect.
I don't want to talk about Michigan. Michigan-Purdue is going to be fun to watch. We should go to that game. Does Fox have that game when they play? I don't know. We'll figure it out.
We'll figure that out. We'll talk about that. We'll work that out.
The other thing I want to say, another debate that jumps out to me is Duke and Kentucky at 9-10. I'm on the Kentucky bandwagon. I think Kentucky's going to be good.
I think Kentucky's going to be better than Duke.
Better than Duke, yeah. I think like because that's where the blue blood, like the 4 blue bloods that exist in everyone's mind: Kansas, Duke, Kentucky, Carolina. Kansas is obviously the best, and then I think like the second best becomes like Duke, Kentucky, and
Carolina. No. Carolina's in that mix. I can't wait.
I think Kentucky's the second best.
If North Carolina beats UCLA in December at the CBS Classic, and UCLA is number 2 in the country.
They might be number 1, right, by the time they play? Yeah, because UCLA beats Gonzaga.
Yeah,
and UCLA is just rolling.
I think the bet is you have to come on the show and say that you disrespected Hubert Davis.
Dude, I want the Buckeyes guys Kentucky. I want Kentucky. Well, let's try to stack it so it's just 1, 2, 3, 4.
I want all the blue bloods at the top. And Memphis included. Memphis is in the mix. I think we
Memphis
have to admit,
at 12.
Yeah.
What your thoughts on Memphis at 12?
I think it's the perfect range. I think if Memphis was 7, 6, somewhere up there, we have the problem of what we talked about before. The hype kind of oozes into this team. But 12, they can probably take that as a sign of disrespect. People don't believe in them, and they have a lot of talent, as we both know. I also saw this. Amani Bates, preseason second team, American Conference.
No.
Did you see this?
No.
Preseason second team.
Oh, in the American. I thought you were talking about All-American.
No. Like in the American Conference, he's preseason second.
Yeah, dude, they saw the combine
They saw
numbers.
the tape. Yeah.
So
Duren is the real star at Memphis, right? So that's also something to watch.
I like Oregon at 13 too. I feel like that's perfect for them. I think their guards are going to be disgusting. And
Houston's got a good spot there at 15. Like,
all right, let me wrap it up with this. We'll wrap up the AP talk with that because you brought up Houston, and it's time for the fraud power rankings.
Yeah,
the preseason fraud power rankings. I need your help with this,
please.
Because I'm probably going to do fraud power rankings as the season progresses. I just love it too much. It's one of my favorite things to do.
It's a great time.
I love calling amateur basketball players I've never met frauds.
Yeah, and it's not them. It's not. We're talking.
Are they still amateurs?
You're right.
They're not
semi-professional,
semi-pros. Semi-pros.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's one of my favorite things to do as the season progresses. But we need a lay of the land right now of who are the frauds? Who am I sniffing out as a fraud, as it stands right now? We have what I'm gonna say. Like I'm gonna make it the top. Not even because Houston's 15, but I feel like there's got to be a cutoff point because like you can't call like Rutgers a fraud.
No.
When they're not even ranked. You know what I mean? So there has to be like some sort of cutoff point of what a fraud is, and I'm gonna say 15. I feel like if you're in the top 15.
Yes.
You know, like if I said Connecticut's a fraud, Connecticut fans would be like, "We're ranked 24th." Dude.
Yeah,
like,
leave us alone.
Leave us alone.
Yeah,
we're not.
I think bottom 15.
We never said we were awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like 24th. Carolina. No one said we're awesome.
Yeah. So I'm gonna do top 15. We need to do. Do we need to do 5? That's a lot of frauds. Top 3. We'll just do top 3.
Top 3 frauds.
Let's think it through here.
Well, number 3 on the fraud power ranking, right?
Number 3. We're going backwards. I'm gonna put. Oh God, dude! What stands out to me? I think number 3 on the fraud has to be. It has to be one of these Big Ten teams, and I just don't know which one. Is it Illinois? Is it Purdue? Or is it Michigan? Is Purdue?
Yeah.
I'm drinking the Purdue Kool-Aid. Michigan, I
think Purdue is the one that's ripe to be the fraud, unfortunately.
I know.
I think that
I'm in too deep, dude. I'm in too deep because I think I've worked myself into a frenzy.
If Coach Titus was in your ear right now, I think he would say, and you know what the right answer is, Mark, which is it's definitely Purdue. They are definitely overranked at 7. I think Purdue's probably more in the 11 to 15 range.
I'm gonna say Purdue. I'm gonna talk out both sides of my mouth because I think Purdue. If I was doing an AP poll, I would rank Purdue at 3. I'm not even kidding because I am
in the top 25 or
in the top
Big
25.
10? Okay.
I would put them at 3. I think I'd do like UCLA, Gonzaga, Purdue, and put Purdue at 3.
Kansas again, disrespected.
But because I'm so far off the deep end with Jaden Ivey, with Travion Williams is awesome. Zach Edey's not even gonna start probably.
Yeah.
And he's
Well, I saw that Painter said that Travion they've been working him at the 4 to see if he can play the 4.
Not gonna happen.
Yeah, I don't. I mean,
they'll try it, but come on. You don't want to do that anyway. You don't want Zach. That's like that. That
like
limits you defensively.
Yourself. Yeah, exactly.
You got big old cement feet out there. You don't want that. So I think Purdue is going to be really good, but dude, it scares me. It really scares because they got the same. Okay, I'll shut up. Purdue's 3. Put Purdue at 3.
3.
Number 3 fraud, but also number 3 in the country.
Yeah. Either way, just number 3. Jaden Ivey put the 3 up. Okay, nice, Jim. Thank you.
Yeah, fraud power rankings updated. Purdue's number 3.
Wow.
I think these are preseason, by the way.
Preseason.
Like Ken Pomeroy, I'm gonna say my
disregard.
Disregard.
I love that. Disregard it.
I'm gonna give you content, but disregard it. At number 2, I'm putting Memphis.
Yeah, that's fair.
I think Memphis has to be number 2. I
will say that it's luckily, like I said before, they're at 12, which doesn't feel egregious.
If I have to bet on a team in the top 15, as I'm looking at it right now, that is going to miss the NCAA tournament.
Ooh.
Memphis is 100% my pick. 100% without even flinching.
Yeah.
As much as I shit on Houston last year, I think Oregon's going to be good enough. Alabama's going to be awesome. I don't know. Maybe Duke.
Yeah, I was gonna say Duke probably my.
I could see Duke, but they're not gonna K's not gonna miss the tournament in his final year. They're not gonna do that.
Playing game.
They're gonna figure it out. Yeah, they'll put him in. So I'll put Memphis at 2. And then number 1.
Whew.
I hate doing it because this is my number 1 team in the country. I think it's UCLA.
Oh yeah.
I think UCLA has to be the preseason number 1 fraud. I think I will say this about UCLA. I think UCLA is going to lose a lot of people money gambling this year because they're a lot, or they'll make a lot of people money. I see UCLA not covering a lot of games.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
They're going to be ranked number 1, number 2 for most of the season.
There's going to be some half times that you look at the score and it's like, wow, UCLA is down 12 to Oregon State.
Yes.
And what is going on here? And then they come back and win in overtime.
Yes.
But it's not going to be pretty.
And
that's Big Cronin basketball.
And then the UCLA account says that's 12 in a row, baby. And we're like, dude, 4 of those were against teams that aren't even Division I. One of them,
Yeah.
And they're like, we're on a roll. Yeah. We can't be stopped.
Yeah. Just smack Santa Clara.
So there it is. I like UCLA, Memphis, and Purdue as my. God, dude, that scares me.
Honestly, it's really good that we had, because I think those 3 programs are probably the most. The programs we're going to talk about the most on the show this year.
Yeah.
To be quite honest.
I think so, because
Memphis has my full attention. Coach Brown's my guy. Love you, Coach Brown. And then UCLA, I mean, that's home base for us.
I would say others receiving votes in the fraud power rankings is Duke. Duke number 9 is too high for Duke, but I'm somehow drinking the Paolo Kool-Aid. I'm drinking the Paolo Kool-Aid and the Coach K final year. Some stupid bullshit's going to happen.
I don't think it's his final year. Did you see the speech on Friday? He said, "Do not use the L word. Do not say last." He literally said, "Do not say last" around him. And I'm just gonna be honest with you. If it actually is your last, you probably want to hear people say it's their last, so that you can grasp it. But if it's open ended, which it seems like it is,
Jim, make a graphic of the Succession logo, and then it's instead of Succession, it's Suck Session, and it's a K, SUCK.
Okay.
Jim's on it.
Yeah, got it.
And it's
I need
big
Logan
Coach K
Roy.
logo.
I need Logan Roy when he's saying "f off" or "f off." I need that cut together, but with Coach K's head on it. And it's every time John Shire asks him anything.
I need the Coach K court logo. That K, put it on top of the Succession logo. It says "Suck Session."
Yeah.
All right, is that it?
It's not over.
That's enough AP preseason talk. It's back though. We're back. It's preseason time.
Yeah.
Whew. I'm excited. What team other than Carolina excites you the most that's not in the top 15?
That's not in the top 15.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's
not Tennessee. State. Arkansas, you can make the case with me. I'm a little excited about the must bust. I always have Florida State's probably my number 2 team in the ACC that I care about. So I always have them on the radar. I think my answer is Connecticut. I really do. I think Connecticut, we got my boy Luke Murray goes there from Louisville, goes to UConn, gets things together with Dan Hurley. Dan Hurley knows that UConn is a 21st century blue blood. That's what I would call them. I wouldn't say they're a traditional blue blood, but they're a 21st century blue blood. Obviously have the history of what Calhoun did there. but Hurley knows and he gets it. You know what I mean? He really does get it. Like, he knows that Northeast basketball. Yeah. He knows old Big East. Okay. Like, if we went to Dan Hurley and we're like, that's old Big East, like, Dan Hurley would just start smiling.
Is that going to help him make shots?
Yeah.
You have to make shots to win at this level.
I think they're going to be a better team. I really do. Book Knight, obviously, it was such a transcendent talent. You lose that hurts, but they played so much without him. And I don't know. I think UConn's fascinating. So I'm going to be watching them, keeping up with them. Love the Big East. You know, Virginia, of course, I know they're going to be there. I'm going to see Virginia.
I do like the UConn. I love having UConn in the Big East because, like, all the other teams in the Big East that are supposed to be challenging Villanova.
We didn't even talk about Villanova, and I think that's what they want. Because Villanova is another team like Kansas. They're real. Like, let's just be honest. If it was 2008 and these were the teams that were given to us, the top two teams would be Kansas, Villanova.
Right.
Because the powers that be, my old AP that believed in the blue bloods. Yes. And the top brands, that's what they would have done.
If this was because football's still that way. The football operates that way.
Yeah.
Basketball, the AP poll does not operate that way. But you're right. Villanova and Kansas would be 1 and 2 in some order. Even though people think Gonzaga and UCLA
probably Villanova won, honestly.
Yeah.
Just because Jay Wright, like you talked about every poll, every single outlet that puts out a preseason coach of the year poll, Jay Wright wins.
Dude, I got to go back and listen to this show because I swear to God, you said like 8 schools are number 1 in some way.
Yes.
We didn't talk about Baylor. Baylor might be the only top 10 team that I didn't talk about. Won the national title.
How does Scott Drew get away with this? How does he keep getting away with this? We want to talk. Who's calling you? Scott Drew?
My sister. Oh. Scott. Can you imagine if
his ears are burning?
What if one of these guys? Yeah. Anyway. All right. That's it. Any shout out to closeouts before we wrap it up?
Shout out to Succession. Honestly, it's back.
Succession is back.
It's at the forefront of my brain.
Yeah.
It was a
Jeremy likes Succession. I see Jeremy over there.
Great episode, Jeremy. Yeah, I mean, my goodness. We were immediately back into the world.
Are you who's your favorite character to appear on screen? Not necessarily that you're rooting for, but it's like one of their scenes and you're just I could watch these scenes.
I'm Roman and Greg all day, you know. Anything that Greg touches is gold. Even with Kindle, you know, like he's like, you're killing it, man. Just great moments with Greg, you know. Greg's just such a character, and like, you know, I went to North Carolina. There's a lot of like, you know, there's a lot of Greg types, you know. They're just like funny guys, you know. They're just like, you know that lanky, just funny guy, you know. Some people might, you know. I don't even know. Greg's the best. I talk about it all day. But shout out to Succession.
All right. Shout out to Succession. Shout out to Dick Vitale, who just announced today that he is dealing with cancer. What is his second
diagnosis? But we are pulling for him as always. And if there's anyone that could beat it, he said he feels like a 12-year-old. He's 82 years old. He has been on the air for 40 years. He is like nostalgia in a box when he starts talking about college basketball. It just gets your gears going. If you really love the game like that. So we love Dickie V here. And
we have always. I want to go on record before it's too late. And I don't mean to be morbid. And I don't want to. But I've made more Dick Vitale jokes, I think, in my life than Dick Vitale has been on the receiving end of jokes for me more than maybe any other person.
Yeah.
Tom Crean is up there, but it's probably Dick Vitale. Every single joke I've ever made about Dick Vitale comes from a place of love. I genuinely love that guy, even when he's losing his mind calling games. And
baby!
I meant more like the passive losing his mind, where he's just like wandering off into talking about like Susan Sarandon. You're like, what are we talking about?
Yeah.
How did we get here?
Bulldog's the best, baby.
Even when he does that, even when he talks about having one eye, all that, he is unequivocally great for the sport of college basketball. Even today, like the form that he's in now, where he's like not at his peak of his powers and all that, and his shtick is played out for a lot of people and all that. He is still unequivocally an asset to this sport, and we love him, and we will always love him. And if you don't like Dick Vitale, that says more about you than anything else.
Yeah, you don't get it. Yeah, he's like a mascot for the sport. You know what I mean? And he is the face of college basketball at some weird, fanatic, in some weird fanatic way. And he was a coach. I mean, Dick Vitale had great teams back in the day as a coach, and he came up with all of those legendary coaches like Rick Pitino and all those guys. So he knows the game. He has always loved it and always had that passion, and you and I have a passion for it. So we respect and love that passion. So get better, Dickie.
He's one constant in our lives.
Yeah.
We're talking about like Coach K retiring. Screw Coach K. We got to get Dickie V on a Duke game this year. Like a real Like the Duke Carolina game, I guess.
My dad texts Dickie V. They met in
That's
Atlantis.
right.
Yeah, they're texting buddies.
Also,
my dad will shoot him a text every once in a while.
The other thing I love about Dickie V is that he, Brian Curtis told me this, that he when he was doing the story on Dickie V, that Dickie V never cooks. In fact, never even eats meals in his own house. Literally every meal he eats is out. He gets in a car and drives somewhere to eat a meal.
Yeah.
And I respect that because that's like basically what Fat Mark did for forever. Was I would just get in the car and drive to Chipotle. So I knew that lifestyle.
That's what I kind of do, yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of what I do now, to be honest.
Yeah, that's what I do.
I eat like 90% of my meal. Yeah, but Dick Vitale, all that. Jim's like, well, I don't.
Totally.
Jim's like, what's the problem here?
You get a shout out for that?
Jim, how many?
I've been doing that for like 20 years.
How many articles of clothing, Jim, do you have in your oven right now that you're using as storage as an extra closet?
Like 5.
No, Jim.
It's his hamper. You open up the oven and just throw it.
Jim I heat up my socks in the morning.
Jim made me feel really good about going to like Chick-fil-A and you know all those like fast food places all the time because he. Can I say the South Park thing? About yeah. Well, like you know, he was working at South Park, and like Matt and Trey would like send him to Taco Bell or send him to Wendy's.
Trey's that way, right? Trey
only eats fast food.
It made me feel so much better about
myself. He eats McDonald's or Taco Bell. That's all he eats.
It made me feel so much better because I was like, yeah, okay. Like I was like, two of my heroes.
And we were catered every day with like the best stuff every day, and then we had to go get Trey McDonald's or Taco Bell. Only 2 things he eats. Crazy.
I love it.
And
that's
awesome.
So good.
That's our version of Any Given Wednesdays. We get the 2 random celebrities and find common ground. We get we get Trey and Dick Vitale on the show together.
Honestly,
and we just talk to them about never.
Why cooking at home is stupid. A waste of time.
But if I remember right, Brian Curtis was telling us Dickie V eats out though to make it. There was a point to that. He eats out because he's such a man of the people. Like he wants to go to these nice Italian restaurants and just schmooze the people.
He never pays either.
Yeah,
you
probably
know that.
never pays, yeah.
Please.
But he wants to, like rub elbows with people and wait and like, the maitre d'
people like my
hey,
dad.
good to see you. Yeah, and meet people because he's a man of the people. And
he talked to my dad by the pool for 2 hours. I mean, think about that. Like, think about how many he's willing. He's willing just to give up 2 hours because he wants to just talk about basketball.
We should get him on the show. He's not gonna do it. He's ESPN.
He called me.
ESPN
Remember we were at the Maui Invitational? He called. My dad got him to call me, and he gave me like this pseudo motivational speech. I don't even think he knows what I did, or what I do. He just started telling me things that I need. He was just like, "So you got to show up. You got to show out." I was like, "What is happening?"
Is that Dickie V or Crank Anchors? Special ed.
Yeah, exactly. One or the other.
Shout out Dickie V. God bless you.
Love him.
We're praying for you. The man, as you said, has done more for cancer research than
maybe
anybody.
He
Honestly,
is the Jimmy V Foundation.
Literally, maybe any human being. That guy is.
And he knew
insane.
Jimmy V like that. You know what I mean? So it's always great. Yeah.
Any other shout outs?
That's all I really got. I mean, football, tough weekend for football. Shout out to North Carolina football, beat Miami, but Chargers.
Yeah, your Chargers
made major L's.
Yeah.
I felt like that was coming, and then
how are my football teams doing? Let me pull up the.
Your Browns are done, man.
The Browns are done. How are my Colts?
I don't know. The Colts are done too.
My Rams and Chargers?
The Rams look good this week. Rams are 5-1.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. The Browns are done. The Browns are done. I forgot.
I think Baker's done. By the way,
Baker might be done.
Yeah.
No, it's tough. I want to shout out. I had 2 other shout outs. Jay Huff signs his 2-way with the Lakers.
Oh, nice. Mac McClung got cut, by the way.
By the Lakers?
By the Lakers. They signed Austin Reeves, and they cut Mac McClung. And then LeBron said there can only be one.
Did he really tweet that?
No.
That makes sense.
It checks out, but it was, I mean, so for all the, Riff Raff retweeted my Mac McClung thing. He was very excited about it. All came to fruition. That lasted about 2 weeks, and we didn't even make it to the regular season. So Mac McClung, free agent right now.
We should sign him.
Jim.
Can we sign him, Jim?
Let's do it.
Do we have the money?
Jim's going to sign T-Jazz and tell us it's Mac McClung.
Get them both.
What NBA starts tomorrow, right?
Yeah, but who cares? Yeah, the AP pulls out.
Dude,
who cares?
That's insane. The NBA
I don't care about the NBA until December,
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, the Philadelphia 76ers, we talked about on the show, and I told you Ben was going to Ben is at practice, and it is hilarious.
Hilarious.
It's good TV.
Yeah, but that's the NBA's problem. Is nobody cares about the games.
If you thought Ben Simmons didn't want to be at LSU, watch him at Sixers practice.
Dude, having gone to LSU and spent a weekend down there, that is a non-trivial red flag that Ben Simmons went to school there and
didn't have fun. Yeah.
I'm like, dude, what?
Yeah.
How? He might be the only human being that's like spent more than a day there. And,
See, he came in with a preconceived notion he wasn't gonna like it. That's the problem.
What an idiot! What an absolute idiot. Speaking of Australians like Ben Simmons, my final shout out, Love on the Spectrum on Netflix. Season 2 is out. I shouted out this show season 1. I told you about this, right?
You did, yeah.
It's a show. It's an Australian show where all the kids have autism, and they are trying to find love. They are earnestly like trying to. They go on these dates.
It's like genuine, yeah.
Yes, and they are like, it is the most heartwarming. Get Ted Lasso out of my face. This is the most heartwarming thing that has ever existed. This is the most heartwarming form of media I have ever seen in my life. I've cried more watching Love on the Spectrum than maybe my entire life combined. And I just wanted to shout out because if you're listening and you're a big softie like me, and you might not know about the show, but go watch it on Netflix. It's amazing. It's amazing. Shout out to Michael from Love on the Spectrum. I would watch that guy host a late night show, unironically.
Bad
the guy's
guy?
Hilarious. He's hilarious. This guy Michael is like full of jokes. He's looking for love. He's I don't know how. Just watch the damn show. Everybody watch the show.
Yeah.
And I want
not an ad. Watch the show.
If I would have, if you told me like nothing good can ever happen in my life again, but Michael from Love on the Spectrum will find love, I would take that deal. I'd be like, this man deserves it. This man deserves love. I want two things.
Will
in this
someone
world.
fall in love with Michael? Damn it!
I want two things in this world right now. Number one, Dickie V to be cancer free.
Yes.
And Michael from Love on the Spectrum to find love. Make this happen.
Yes.
That's all we need.
Yes.
So.
And UCLA to make the Final Four. I really
UCLA to be back. And Michigan to suck. And
North Carolina to get some respect around here. Coach K to not make the tournament. Lots of things. Yeah, just keep going.
So that's it. That's
No,
all.
that's really sweet.
Jim, you have shout out? You want to shout anybody out?
No.
You don't really.
How was Austin, Jim? Quickly.
It's fine.
All right. There you have it.
I'm trying to watch Succession over here. Leave me alone.
All right, that's the show. Congratulations to Gonzaga. Hang the banner.
Yes.
Preseason number 1
Back
team
to
in the
back.
country. Yeah, back to back, dude.
Play the
Who
Drake
says
song.
they don't win championships?
I mean, seriously.
Dude, back to back. Back to back.
Back to back.
That's the show. We'll see you guys on Friday.